In this lesson, we are going to go through about introduction of the lesson, interior of the earth movements, earthquake and its causes, effects and distribution, volcanoes and its type, and finally about the distribution of volcanoes. Introduction. We all knew that the planet we live in is called the Earth, but we don't know what this Earth is made of. We also know that our Earth consists of mountains, oceans, plains and plateaus. Now let's see what really our Earth is. Interior of the Earth. Our Earth has three concentric layers, that is, one layer below the another as crust, mantle and the core. Let's see about the crust in detail. The crust is the uppermost layer of the Earth. It consists of both continental mass, that is land mass, and oceanic flows. The crust consists of two parts, the upper part and the lower part, where the upper part consists of granite rocks and forms the continents. It contains minerals mainly of silica and alumina. So it is also referred to as soil, where the lower part forms the ocean floors and it consists of minerals mainly of silica and magnesium. So it is also called as Sima. Now let's see about the mantle. The mantle is found below the crust. The crust and the mantle are separated by Mohorovicic discontinuity. The mantle is divided into two parts as the upper mantle and the lower mantle. The upper mantle together with the crust is called the lithosphere. Let's see about the core. The core is the innermost layer of the Earth. It is called barosphere. The core and the mantle are separated by Weizsäcker-Gutenberg discontinuity. The core is divided into two parts as the outer core, which is rich in iron in liquid state, and the inner core composed of nickel and ferrous in solid state. The central core has very high temperature and pressure. Earth movements. The lithosphere is broken into a number of plates called lithospheric plates. Each plate moves independently. The movement of these plates is termed as tectonic movements. When an oceanic plate collides with a continental plate, it results in the formation of volcanic mountain like this. And when two continental plates collide, it results in a formation of trench, that is a deep depression. The earth movements are divided by the basis of forces which causes them. They are endogenic forces which acts in the interior of the earth and the exogenic forces which acts on the surface of the earth. Endogenic forces are sometimes produce sudden movements which results in earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Earthquake. An earthquake is a sudden movement in the earth's crust that results in shaking or trembling. The focus. The point where the vibrations originate is called the focus of the earthquake. The point directly above the surface is called the epicenter of the earthquake. From the focus, the vibrations travel in the form of seismic waves. Seismograph. The seismograph is an instrument used to record earthquake waves, and this is what a seismograph looks like. The magnitude, that is, the strength of an earthquake, is measured by the Richter scale. I hope you all have heard this word in the news, and an earthquake of magnitude over 5 on the Richter scale or higher magnitude is considered very strong, whereas 7 on the Richter scale is a major earthquake. Now let's see what are the causes of the earthquake. The major cause of the earthquake is the sudden slipping in the portion of Earth's crust. This sudden shifting of landmass causes upward movement in the crust, sending vibrations into the surrounding portions. Sometimes the surface itself cracks. Another cause of earthquake is a volcanic activity. The violent eruption causes the earth in its vicinity, that is visibility, to shake. Earthquakes are most common in the volcanic areas. Now let's see about the effects of earthquake. The vibrations from the earthquake causes landslides in mountainous regions. The greater danger in this is falling of buildings, which may result in damage to people in higher extent. Then it also results in fire. The underground water system also gets disturbed by these movements. The earthquake waves are of three types. as P waves, S waves and L waves. Now let's see about tsunami. An earthquake which originates below or near the sea causes greater disturbance in water. Sometimes huge waves are caused in sea. Such waves are called tsunami waves, which is a Japanese word. The tsunamis are most common along the coasts of Japan and other regions of the Pacific Ocean. The tsunami wave may look like this. Sometimes it may even rise up to 10 feet. On 26 December 2004, tsunami in the Indian Ocean swept coastal areas of Indonesia, India and Sri Lanka. They caused heavy damage to life and property and many people lost their life. Now, the distribution of earthquakes. The world's distribution of earthquakes coincide with the volcanoes. We can find that 68% of the frequent earthquakes occur along the Pacific Ring of Fire and 31% of the earthquakes occur in the Mediterranean Himalayan belt, and the remaining occurrences are found in the northern Africa and Rift Valley areas of the Red Sea and Dead Sea. In India, the Himalayan region and the Ganga-Brahmaputra Valley are prone to earthquakes, where some of them were severe. Here, you can see the distribution of earthquakes around the world. Now, let's see about the volcanoes. A volcano is a vent or opening in the earth's crust through which hot magma erupts. The opening of a volcano is circular in shape. Here in this picture you can see the magma chamber in which the molten rock material, when it comes out to the surface, it is called lava. The vent is the opening in the volcano and the crater is the depression on the top of the volcano. Sometimes violent explosion crosses caldera, that is a crater of larger size like basin. Do you know, students, the study of volcano is called volcanology and people who study volcanoes are called volcanologists. Let's see the causes of volcanic eruptions. The temperature increases as the depth increases. There is also a greater pressure. Under such cases, the magma dissolves large volume of gas. Some of the gases are flammable and this makes eruption through weak spots in the earth's crust. Nature of eruption. The volcanic eruption is of two types. One is fissure eruption, where the magma rises slowly to the surface and spreads over a vast area. The Deccan Plateaus in India are formed by this way. Here you can see the fissure eruption. The magma rises slowly and there is no explosions. And the next one is the explosive eruption. In this case, the magma rises quickly to the surface and lava is thrown into the atmosphere along with steam, gases and pieces of rocks. Now, let's see about the types of volcanoes. The volcanoes are classified on the basis of two types, as on the basis of the shape and on the basis of the periodicity. In the basis of shape, we have shield volcano, cinder cone volcano and composite volcano. And on the basis of periodicity, we have active volcano, dormant volcano and extinct volcano. On the basis of shape, we have shield volcano. Shield volcanoes are formed by quiet eruption of lava with low silica content. These volcanoes have a wide base and cone with gentle slope. In this picture, you can see the structure of shield volcano. The volcanoes of Hawaii are example of this type. Next, the cinder cone volcano. The word cinder means a piece of burning coal or wood. In this type of volcano, the silica-rich magma traps gases until enough pressure is obtained to push magma out of the Earth's crust. These volcanoes are formed by semi-solid lava ejected from a single vent. They have a steep slope made of cinder and ash. Here you can see the shape of a cinder cone volcano. When this type of volcanoes erupts, it shoots gases and ash with high force, throwing them into several kilometers. Volcanoes of Mexico and Central America are examples of this type. Composite volcano. Composite volcano, as the name implies, consists of alternate layer of lava, cinder and ash. They are also called as stratovolcano. Here in this picture you can see the layers of lava and cinder. An example for this kind of volcano is St. Helens. The type of volcano on the basis of periodicity. First we have active volcano. An active volcano is a volcano that erupts frequently. Most of the active volcanoes lie in the Pacific Ring of Fire. There are about 600 active volcanoes in the world. Mauna Loa in Hawaii is the world's biggest active volcano. Next is the dormant volcano. Dormant volcanoes have no sign of activity for many years, but they become active at any time. They are also called as sleeping volcanoes. Mount Krakatau in Indonesia is a famous example of this type of volcano. And the last one is the extinct volcano. The top of these volcanoes are eroded and they show no eruption for at least 10,000 years. An example for this type of volcano is Mount Kilimanjaro. Now let's see the distribution of volcanoes in the world. There are three major zones of volcanic activity in the world. They are the circumbelt, which is the active volcanic belt. This zone is popularly known as Pacific Ring of Fire. Here you can easily trace the regions under the circumbelt. It contains about 2/3 of the world's volcanoes. Next, the mid-continental belt. This includes alpine mountain chains, the Mediterranean Sea and the fault zone of Eastern Africa. The important volcanoes of this region includes Kilimanjaro. And finally, the mid-Atlantic belt. This belt represents the boundaries along the mid-Atlantic ridges. The volcanoes here are mostly of fissure type. St. Helena belongs to this region. Let's conclude our lesson by summing up. In this lesson, we saw that the interior of our Earth consists of crust, mantle, and the core. And we saw that the earthquake is a sudden movement in the Earth's crust. Next, volcano, which is a vent or opening in the Earth's crust, where the volcanoes are divided into two types on the basis of shape and on the basis of periodicity. Where on the basis of shape we saw shield volcanoes, cinder cone volcanoes and composite volcanoes, and on the basis of periodicity we go through about the active volcanoes, dormant volcanoes and extinct volcanoes. Hope you all understood the lesson and enjoyed going through new concepts like earthquakes and volcanoes. Learning never exhausts your mind. So students, keep learning. Thank you.